Today, I'm overjoyed to be in conversation with director and actor, the dynamic Lushin Dubey. Under the Kids World umbrella, she and her cousin and partner, Bubble Sabharwal, have directed over 100 productions. She has also directed many original productions, her favorite being solos. Her acclaimed solo, Untitled, has completed over 280 shows in India. She has been the recipient of national and international awards. She has worked as a lead in TV serials and acted in a number of films. Her most recent film being The Sky is Pink, where she played the role of Priyanka Chopra's mother. Learning about her career, her passion, and what she represents to every individual who has had the opportunity to be in her presence, including myself, has been both endearing and inspirational. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Meghla, also known as Do What Makes You Happy. I'm a wellness expert and this channel is dedicated to living life healthy, happy and mindfully. And it is my absolute pleasure to be in conversation with renowned theatre personality, an outstanding lady and my very own mentor, the lovely Lushin Dubey.
Hi, Meghla, and thank you for having me here.
Given that these are COVID times, what is the scope of work that you're doing in the digital space?
Well, as we all know, this is really an unknown place for all of us. Yes, there's some of us who have a lot of trepidation about jumping into something like this because, let me speak for myself, I don't even know much about the laptop. I don't know much about the computer. So I'm constantly calling my daughter to help me with how to figure out this and that. But before I had time to even breathe, even to think that, is this going to work? Is this not going to work? I just plunged headlong into it. Because I do feel that each time you come against an obstacle or anything that is looking formidable, you've got to employ the best methods, the best way to surmount it. And that is exactly what I did in this instant, just completely plunged myself into it. So basically, as you know, I do adult theater. I do a lot of my own work, my own solo pieces, work that I script, that I direct, original works. And I also run theater, that's Theatre World, under the auspices, the umbrella of Theatre World. I've been doing a lot of productions here, overseas, and so forth. Under the umbrella of Kids World, a company I run with my cousin, Bubble Sabharwal, we have been doing a lot of theatre workshops, a lot of productions, a lot of stuff for events, you name it, anything that employs kids for kids kind of thing. And also using kids with adults. Sometimes you have from 5-year-olds to way up to 35, 40-year-olds all together in one production like you were in at Kingdom of Dreams. So basically, Bubbles and I said, all right, let's just jump into the foray. There's something we've always been wanting to do. I mean, I feel diction and speech, something that the Irish nuns introduced us to in our convent schools. As we might have found them too fastidious at that point of time, but today it has stood us in good stead, especially in the field of theatre, in the field of, I also teach in a business school where, I have to work with so many students, speak with students, you have to be clear, you have to be clear in your thinking. I mean, elocution, diction, poetry, rendering, debates, which of course a lot of schools do, but I think things like, enunciating words, punctuations, not leaving out definite articles, indefinite articles, hitting out at last consonants to make your speech clear instead of it being fuzzy and so forth. all these things, these are very, very important things in the spoken English language,
Absolutely.
uh, which was given a lot of emphasis when I was in convent. And I think it was also given a lot of emphasis because it was run by Irish nuns,
Right.
so it was really considered as an integral part of English speaking milieu, an English speaking milieu. So I feel that has become why only children. I think even with adults, it's become, very. Today, you can't even understand sometimes adults what exactly they're saying. Go to a restaurant, you're ordering something, you've got to make the person repeat it once, twice, thrice. Sometimes, when leaders, people who are speaking in talks and so forth, let's face it, we sometimes cannot understand them. So,
True.
I think clarity of thought, speech is a very fundamental thing when you're working with anybody who's in the field of theatre. It is really a fundamental area. It's the core area. You've got to encapsulate all this. So what we are doing is basically working with children in slots like 5, 6, 7 year olds, then 7, 8, 9, 10 year olds, 11, 12, 13, 14 year olds. We are also, and what are we doing with these children? We are doing capsules where we are, using limericks, where we are using poetry, use a lot of tongue twisters because that kind of exercises the muscles of the mouth. All this, in an interesting way, where the kid is completely excited, the kid is pushing himself outside his safe zone, outside his comfort zone. I mean, you won't believe it. I have got 5 year olds who are reciting almost like 10 to 12 lines of sentences or just plucked out limerick lines, which are completely disparate. They have nothing to do with each other, but hitting outwards. Now, these are 4.5 to 5 year olds.
Wow.
So I think they themselves didn't realize that they would be able to do this. But the minute you challenge a child, he wants to rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
And at the end of each class, I do something like, a quiz, asking them, both of us ask, riddles, questions, something about history, something about, let's say, geography, anything. And
Mhm.
you'll be surprised at how much these kids actually know. They know a lot. We underestimate what a kid is capable of.
Oh, hello everybody. I hope there are a lot of kitties here.
The methodology of how you present it is completely in the hands of the guide or the teacher.
Of course.
Yeah. So I love to even challenge myself in terms of methods that I can employ to challenge the student in front of me. So many of the games are things that I've created myself. And some are, of course, things that I've read about, that I've myself done as a child growing up in theater. We did so many exercises. Some of them have remained very deeply ingrained in me. I employ that. There's no end. It's such a diction, speech, clarity of thinking is just a tributary of the vast sea that is theatre. We are also directing a production, a full on musical
Oh, wow.
on Zoom. Now, I have no idea. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it works out because I have really no idea whether it will work out or not. But from the little blurbs and the clippings that I've seen, it's looking very promising. So even if it's my our first attempt, by Kids World, run by Bubbles and me. If
Mhm.
it's our first attempt to see if something really happens, works out, it has to just work. If it works, then there's no stopping. There's no stopping oneself. And one is just going to go from more complex subjects to more complex subjects, think of different things to do. The kids have all, they have done the makeup themselves with their parents. The parents have been my production team backstage, done the lighting with the help of my technical guys. They have done the sound, the lighting, taking like you in cinema. I would say this is like, halfway between theater and cinema. We are reinventing kids' world on screen. We are doing something we have never done before. But I think anything in life, first you have to dream big. And second, you have to feel more than 50 to 60% conviction that it will work. I will make it work. The name of the game is you have to have fun. You have to make education fun.
Yeah.
If you make education, my husband's a mathematician, and he constantly tells me that, why people are fearful of mathematics is because of the way it's taught. So if we just teach it with a lot of fun, if you work together as a family with a lot of fun, you're sure to give that something which you want them to imbibe. You have more chances of that happening.
This is Lockjaw, am I? Oh, let me say, with a glassy eye, ugly nose, ugly.
I just wanted to say Mekla. Now, how do I create a cage? Is that I made them put 7 to 8 pencils together. All right, put pencils. Now, a tall pencil will stand outside the edges of this screen, and to tie up each of the pencils with thick thread. And if you bring that kind of thing forward in this cage of a box that we are stuck in, it looks like a cage.
Oh, wow.
Kind of things we are doing.
Oh,
I
wow.
mean, you say something like, you know what? The actor says, I've got eyes everywhere. And what are you doing? You are taking the eggshell, half an eggshell, telling the kids, paint an eye on it. And she's got these 2 eyes coming closer and closer and closer to the screen. And they fill up the screen, and you see these 2 big globular eyes coming forward like my hand. Now just imagine, I've just given you 2 minor examples,
Yeah.
You take something like a jug and you go back and you bring the jug forward. The tricks of working with the cinematic medium. The
Yeah.
kids are getting cages like this when she says, I have the biggest key that you'll ever see. She goes back and she brings the key forward, 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 and you see the biggest key that you can imagine. And children love this kind of stuff. I've had no time to grieve the physical space. Of course, Nikhya, one misses the samosas and the tea and the skits and all that kind of stuff. But there's a lot here.
So this is such a creative and out of the box way.
Yeah, things like even blurbs. Kids like the whole thing of a human being and blurbs, like a Popeye kind of smash coming forward. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Or something like a cartoon blur. You talk about frogs, and suddenly a big frog leaps into the frame. Absolutely. The child feels, the one who's viewing it feels that this frog is leaping into their faces.
Oh.
We are laughing through it all. We are having a blast.
Tell me about the personal projects that you're working on right now.
So as you know, Mekha, sweetheart, I do a lot of my own work on social issues. I've done about 5 solos. I've done several other productions on communalism, on HIV, on women's empowerment, on sexual abuse, lots of strong subjects. How a woman renegotiates to create her own boundaries, lots of subjects like that. Also, one huge production on the life of Gautam Buddha. Buddhism is very big. I myself am a practitioner, as you know. So I want to, after I finish this bulk of kids' work, which is, I think, only going to carry over, and there's going to be more and more work now because from the 5 classes we started, it's become 10 now. So I have a feeling it will grow into many more. And the kids are really learning so much and enjoying themselves. And if this production takes off, we are planning another one for August, September. So I haven't had time to sit over my own personal pieces. But I think here is where I must thank myself that I went into solos, because a solo is very easy to do. Because if I create the right lighting, I don't need any co-actors. I just need the right lighting, and I need to improvise with some of the set material, which I'm sure I can do with the help of tech guys and so forth. So I'm planning to go and revise some of my solos, but I've got a new piece, an absolutely fabulous script that I just got written before the lockdown came on. It is the Mahabharat of our times, and it has 5 people in it. There is Karan, there is Duryodhan, there is Bhishma Pitame, there is Draupadi, and there is Kunti. Just 5 people, and it's a musical, and it is set in today's world, kind of, so to speak. I wanted to bring out the beauty of Karan, his sensitivity, we are often talking about what men have become today, what society has become today, what relationships have become today, why are the yesteryears not coming back, why have we lost the yesteryears, the charm of the yesteryears. So I want to bring back the old fashioned with the new and combine it together in this musical. It's a very, very, Nekla, I would say the word is, it's going to be, in a sense, my toughest piece. It is going to be really a very courageous effort by everyone. If we are able to put it all together. I don't know if it'll happen, but again, I have optimism. I feel like if I can get it right, the same kind of optimism I had for the kids stuff that I'm doing, if I can get it right, I have some ideas, but I have to explore them to see, can it work? So I told my tech guys, I'll shoot one bit and you show it to me for me to know. I think you saw that clip of that girl. If it works, yeah. So what did you feel? Did you feel that it was kind of working?
Oh, loved it. I think it really
Yeah, in the film medium area, we are used to that. Here we have to discover it. So that journey is very exciting. And my sense is, Meghla, that God forbid, if COVID is here to stay for a long time, human beings are very, very fast to innovate, to create something different, to create something new. And my sense is, before we can say Jack Robinson, before we can wink, there'll be other things that will be coming on that we can employ. That's my faith. That's what this is probably going to happen. And none other than, some of the countries who are very fast at it. But if that's, because there are so many of us, there are so many artists, what are they going to do? They're not going to just sit at home and talk about this. They're going to do. There is market for this. So why won't they, create something new?
So since we've been talking about having so much fun, I want to know what makes you happy.
What makes me very, very happy, what makes me happy is first and foremost my granddaughter, Neera, my treasure, my Arjul. Obviously, I can drop, I don't think I can drop my work and a lot of other stuff which give me a lot of, which define me. Yeah, I can't drop it, I think, for anyone. I could drop it for her. So she, my family, playing board games, sitting with my family, reading a good book, doing my painting, chatting with friends. I'm a pretty old-fashioned person, so I kind of stick to the same simple pleasures. I'm not the kind of person who would, get a big thrill out of going for a cruise or that kind of stuff. I mean, these are these small pleasures, I think, which kind of, which make me very happy. Family, home, reading. Painting gives me a lot of joy. I think it's my missed vocation. My sister always says to me that you should be having exhibitions because I do paint a lot.
Oh, wow.
But I never, yeah, and sculpt, but I never, sort of gave myself, because I'm always doing, I always believe, Mekla, that, you've got to soak off whatever's nice that comes your way. You've got to soak off life
Mm.
because every day is really and truly a gift. Now you look at COVID situation and you say, oh my God, every day, this is not trite. This
Yeah.
is really not a trite statement. You say that experience life. What is all this? I mean, you have to live in the moment and actually believe in it
True.
and enjoy it to the fullest. I mean, just before our program, I quickly had a word with my daughter, younger one, and I said, okay, so what are you doing tomorrow? I want to see her, Mira, my granddaughter. So you've got to avail of every moment to make it a richer experience for yourself. I learned this from my father, truly, because he used to believe in soaking off life. So if you say what makes you happy, there's no end to what I am known that makes me happy, and there's no end to knowing in future what will make me happy. Because
Yeah.
I think there's oodles of stuff in our life that can give us happiness. Yeah, and if you only sit to observe life, because my teacher has been observation in life. Somebody asked me, many times I'm asked in interviews, who's your mentor? Who do you look up to? Who have you? And I look and I say, look, I don't want to be arrogant, but really and truly, it is observing where people, maybe because I was a middle child, I don't know what it is, but observation has taught me a lot.
Wow.
So I think happiness is there of what you know it, and happiness is waiting for you. I read this lovely book by somebody called Timothy Butler. One was at Harvard Business School. It was optional reading,
Mhm.
and I read it from the beginning to the end. And he said something very beautiful. He said, each of these students who studies at these very top-notch Ivy League schools goes to into jobs that pay them extremely well, and they have these lovely apartments, and they have their car, and they have all these lovely things that they can afford. But many of them come back to me and say, after 4 or 5 years of work, that I'm not happy. I'm even married. I'm still not happy. I've got a kid. I'm still not happy. And he says, you have forgotten to address your inner sun.
Wow.
We all have an outer sun that is societal, that is people who you want to please. There's nothing wrong with it,
Yeah.
albeit sometimes it's
Yeah.
necessary, your parents and so forth. You also have some responsibilities in life, right? People who you want to please, society who you want to please. You're constantly conscious and aware of that. And you don't open your inner sun. Your inner sun, he says, is maybe Mekla or Lushin wanting to meet one day and just do embroidery on a bench in a park. This is the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
And why don't you all do it? Because this is what is going to give you maximum quotient of happiness, the highest in the moment, and going to release your happy hormones.
Oh, I love that. And we have to let it shine. We have to let the inner sun
You just
shine.
open that inner sun.
Yeah.
I hope he's listening to me wherever he is. You should actually give him a hug because because I've been quoting him left, right, and center. But I think this is so true.
But I
I
love
love knit. You ask me what makes me happy. I love to sit back and just knit like an old mom, like an old lady, knit, knit,
yeah.
knit, knit. My husband used to get really upset seeing me knitting for 6 hours. But it's the kind of thing that can give you so much relaxation, so much peace. Okay, and you smile to yourself, thoughts are going in places.
Yeah.
It's so he says you have to give wind to open that window of your inner sun. He
Love
said
it.
most people keep it blocked.
It's been absolutely incredible chatting to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Mekla, thank you. I always say There are two marriages in life, one to a spouse and one to your passion. And if you convert your passion, coalesce it into your profession, then you're very, very lucky.
If you enjoyed watching this conversation as much as we enjoyed making this video, then hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell icon so that you get notified of my videos every week. Till next time, ciao!